Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be taking a look at the brand new Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I want to welcome all of you guys here in chat and thank you very much for your support and your wishes. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it very much, guys. I want to welcome all of you here to this live stream for the very first time in 2K here on the Q8 Pilot channel. Now, I'm pretty sure that you have seen a lot of streams, a lot of videos coming out on Microsoft Flight Sim 2024. So first, I think what's in order is that we congratulate the team over at Microsoft and Asobo for the launch of the sim, which, you know, was not exactly a smooth launch. But nonetheless, we have a brand new simulator. And in this live stream tonight, I am going to be giving you my first impressions and my honest overview or review, whatever you want to call it, about the new sim and my take on everything that Asobo and Microsoft have collectively done in bringing this brand new platform to us flight simmers. So the first thing we are going to do, I'm going to be leaving the FPS because I know a lot of people are going to be asking me it. So I'm going to leave the FPS overlay over here. And the accessibility is for those of you who require visual assistance or auditory assistance. And I have to say that I'm impressed with how Microsoft and Asobo think about, people with special needs. So this is something I really have a lot of appreciation for. Just to begin with here, let's go ahead and go to the start menu. Now, you'll notice that the user interface has slightly changed from the MSFS 2020. Now, at a glance, you'll find that the user interface is pretty simple. So you've got the world photographer here, which allows you to basically go to different places and take pictures of different animals around the globe. Not my idea of flight simming, but if you like safari, this is something that you will appreciate. The activities is something we've seen in 2020. Not a bad thing to have. It's quite fun. The Challenge League as well. The marketplace is not yet ready, so there's nothing there yet. The career mode, which has been hyped a lot in the past, in the weeks or months leading to the launch of Microsoft Flight Sim. So we're going to be taking a brief look at that today as well. And welcome everyone in chat who just joined us. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you guys here with us this evening. And of course, the free flight is where we're going to spend most of our time today, taking a look at the various options. You'll also see here that you have the top bar here giving you access to the settings, the marketplace, the chat and the multiplayer, and your notifications. You can see my gamer tag here as well, Q8 Pilot 8814. If you'd like to join me as a friend and fly with me in this sim, you're more than welcome to do so. All right, well, welcome Dougal. We have also with us Kabir today. We have Rand Cooley. Rand, a rare appearance. We haven't seen you in a while, my friend. Welcome aboard. Hello, Stan. Renan de Oliveira, welcome aboard from Brazil. And Raul Rodriguez. Welcome, chat. Welcome, everyone. All right, so let's go to free flight. Once you go to free flight, again, this is something very familiar. A few changes here. You can see the flight conditions here, which you can select. We're going to go ahead and select live. Air traffic is currently off. It's just the air traffic has two options currently. One is live traffic, which will get the live traffic from around the globe and inject it into the sim. And off, which will just kind of put in static AI at the airports. this is where you select your aircraft. So if we click here, you'll get all the aircraft available to you in the sim, and you can also click here to select either airplane, helicopter, gliders. So kind of just go to that specific category or other. You've got those little drone aircraft there as well. Now, the one thing I did not like is that all of a sudden, all of the aircraft I purchased in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 were imported automatically here without even asking if I wanted that. And most of them do not work still in the new sim. So, but that's probably part of the, of the awkward or the, I don't want to say disastrous launch because I will tell you guys, I've been in the development business for a very long time, and these things are expected. I do expect better launch with a company like Microsoft and Asobo, but these things do happen. They did not anticipate the amount of people that are going to be online on day one, and that has led to a lot of problems, which we were going to talk about, of course, because everything now is streamed. So nothing is, all these aircraft are actually streamed online from the cloud, which has advantages and disadvantages. We're going to be talking about that a little bit today as well. Thank you, Captain Caker. Welcome aboard, and thank you for your support, sir. I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you. All right, so without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and do our very first flight. And I have picked, we're going to go to Lima 52, which is Oceano County Airport in the United States. I love the fact that you see the weather conditions there when you click on the airport. There you see Lima 52. Also, you have a flight tab here, which allows you to set up your flight. You can add the departure airport, add all the information here, and the type of flight rules, IFR or VFR, airlines, flight number, and of course you can then talk to ATC. You can set up your zero fuel total payload. Now this doesn't really work very well at this point in time, so you can't really change a lot of the numbers here. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't with different aircraft. But anyway, you've got your fuel options here, the navigation log, and you've got your charts here. Also, you can change the units of measure very quickly, which is very nice. I do like what they've done here. You've got your pilot logbook and information about the aircraft, including the full checklist, which is very, very cool, very neatly done by Microsoft and Asobo. All right, so we are going to zoom in here, and we are going to select this position, set as departure, and oh, now it's changed to IFR. Okay, and we're just going to say start flight. Okay. Now, one of the things I do not like is the fact that everything is streamed in this version of Microsoft Flight Sim, which means that you need a persistent, reliable, and very fast internet connection in order for you to have a smooth experience. Now, the advantage of having everything streamed from the cloud is, of course, it's going to save a lot of space on your desktop, on your machine. So it will save you a lot of storage. So this is what things look like when you can see that things are kind of starting to download now, and yeah, now you can see everything is downloaded here, and you can see this aircraft still isn't downloaded. So we're going to click here on Let's Fly. Now, you'll begin every flight with a walk-around mode, which I do like, and if you listen closely, you will actually listen to the soundscape is done impeccably well in this version of Microsoft Flight Sim. During the day, you'll hear the birds. During the night, you'll hear the little chirps, and you will also hear the cars, honking the horn when you're in the city. I've tested this in several places, and I must say that I really do like it. You'll also notice one of the new things is these little click spots here, which you can toggle on and off. Of course, you need to map this, but the problem is that I'm getting an error that YouTube is not getting enough. So if this becomes an issue, you're dropping out. All right. So here's what I'll do, guys. I will, if you give me just 1 second, and I will be right back with you guys. Just give me a sec, guys. Yeah. All right, we are back in business, guys. Now, what I had to do is go back to my old settings. It looks like with the data streaming at 2K is just too much, I think, for the connection. So we're back to 1080p. I hope this is okay. And everything is should be now working as it should. All right. Can you crash? Yes, we can crash for sure. Yeah. All right. So these are these little click spots here. If you go, for example, to let me go to the back here. You can actually check the flaps. So if I click here, I can check the flaps. And then it's going to give me a check mark here. It says, okay, your flaps are okay, which is, in my view, pretty cool. I think I do like this walk around feature. You have to, by the way, remove all the pins like you do in real life, or otherwise you'll run into issues as you enter the aircraft and try to start it. So here we go. We have a nice walk around here of the aircraft. If you don't like this, you can always map a button to hide those visual displays here. So if I click H, I've mapped the letter H in order to remove it. Now, one of the things that I do not like, I never liked in Microsoft Flight 2020 and continues to be an issue, is the setup of the controls. It is just counterproductive, very complex, menus nested under menus, and I just don't know why they haven't simplified their menu options. All right, so we're going to go ahead and enter into the aircraft now. We're going to click on the door, and automatically once you click on the door, it will put you inside the aircraft. Thankfully, everything is streamed properly, so the aircraft is loaded. Let me adjust my... There we go. All right. So everything here, as you can see, looks pretty nice in terms of the visuals. Again, as we zoom in here, everything is sharp. The instruments look very nice. Now, sometimes when you move in and out of the aircraft, you'll lose some of the textures, which is an issue, and that is primarily because everything, again, is streamed. And to me, the disadvantages of having this particular technology, while I love the idea, I think the disadvantages are far more, because it means that a lot of people will not be able to use the SIM. A lot of people will be left out, those with less reliable internet connectivity, or if you're having an issue with your ISP, that will definitely render you unable to use the SIM. Overall, I do like the sounds. This is pretty much what you've seen in the previous SIM, only that it's coming from the cloud. So I'm going to close the door if it allows me to. It doesn't want to close the door. There we go, finally. Okay. So the door is closed, and I've mapped a couple of buttons to do external view as well. And back to the cockpit. Now, this is very, very confusing, guys. The mapping of the controls is just counterproductive. That's the best term that you can use for that. Counterproductive and counterintuitive at best. Okay. All right, so we're going to come here. We're going to turn on the battery switch. We are going to turn on our beacon lights. Now, I don't know if you can hear the sounds in the SIM or not. but they tend to be a little bit on the lower side. Can you see explosions? I don't know. Can you fly now? Okay, so we are going to start the aircraft from its cold and dark state. There we go. We have a good start. And from the outside, if we go to the outside, again, very nice sounds. There you go. All right, and we're going to turn on the taxi lights. We're going to set the flaps for takeoff. All right. Now, a couple of things I do want to show you is I'm going to come here. Now, one of the nice things, again, in this version is the inclusion by default of flight control replay. Now, this is, I think, very smart of Asobo and Microsoft. Instead of, wasting time on building a replay system, they have one here now. They have the FCR flight control replay, which is pretty good. It's overhaze visuals. Yeah, they should make it an option to download the aircraft. I totally agree there with you. I think Wycliffe Barrett, welcome aboard. It's very quiet. Yeah. I mean, I don't really know. Maybe I can maybe add a little bit more here, so you guys maybe can hear the sim a little better. Tell me if that's good, guys. Because yeah, it is even pretty low for myself. So let's see if I believe you can download planes once the marketplace opens. We'll see about that. That's a little better. All right, perfect. Okay, so one thing I do want to show you is just like the previous version, you can click here on live weather and you can customize it. So you can customize the time and you can also customize the weather. So if we click here on live, if we go to the weather, so this is live weather, and now we can change the weather. Let me show you here. I'm going to, just for the fun of it, we're going to say rain. And I want to show you some of the features during the rain. So if we click here and go to the outside view, again, you'll see the surface refraction, just like the previous sim. And now we can release the parking brake and give it some power here. There we go. Right, you'll notice also you can see the dust coming out of the tires there, which is pretty cool. All right. Now we're going to change this back to live weather. Live. There we go. We'll explore that a little further. I want to also show you the 3D lights, which I think is done pretty well. Now you'll notice here that the vegetation has been significantly improved. Probably one of the best things in this version of the sim is the representation of grass, trees. The vegetation has really been improved dramatically in this version. All right, strobes are on and the landing lights are on. And here's a look at the aircraft again from the outside. Barely you can hear the engines. All right, let me see if I can, let me see if I can add a little more here in terms of the sim sounds. Is this a little better, guys? I mean, I have the sounds pretty high at my end, but I'm not sure why the sounds are so low. Better? All right, perfect. All right, so we are all ready to go. I'm tempted to change the weather here, but let's just leave it. Let's go ahead and take off, and we'll play around. We're going to put the transponder on, squawking 1200, and we are good to go. Let's bring the yoke back, and off we go. Full power. All right, and we're going to rotate at 60 knots. 60 knots and rotate. And we are airborne. Notice the beautiful vegetation there. And we are clocking about 142 FPS. All right, I want you guys to see this, so I'm gonna come here to the weather, and I'm gonna remove live weather, and so you guys can get a better appreciation of the shadows here and the vegetation. Right, let's retract the flaps. We want to gain some altitude, and to reset your altimeter, you need the comma key, not the B as it used to be in the previous version. Right, we're getting to about 1,000 feet. We're going to ease off there on the mixture. I have found the physics of the aircraft to have been improved over the previous version. And let me switch to the external view. There you go. As you can see here, the vegetation looks pretty nice. The trees specifically look very nice. And San Luis Obispo is just to our left, so we are going to head over there, land the aircraft there, and we'll also take notice of the physics of the aircraft. We can actually do one thing here, since we are at a reasonable altitude. Let's go ahead and install the aircraft. So we're just going to hold the pitch there. Kind of, sort of. All right. So, overall, I don't really see that much of a difference between this version and 2020, with the exception of the scenery. And quite honestly, guys, I really do not know why Microsoft and Asobo has decided to create this sim 2024. I believe that whatever we had in 2020 could have been just upgraded. So the only thing I can see is the business aspect, which is the money. That's the only thing I can see. Why would they go for a full-fledged simulator rather than just continuing to upgrade 2020? But so far, I am, I'm very neutral as to, what this sim brings additionally over the previous version. I would have to say that it is less saturated, so I do like the coloring a lot more in this version than the previous version. The fact that everything is streamed is a little bit annoying. I was actually having an issue with my ISP the other day, and that rendered me unable to fly the sim. And then there were, of course, that was exacerbated by the issues from Microsoft side. So, yeah. I have set my keyboard binding to the 2020 setting. Gives me back most old keybinds. Yeah. That's a good option, Dougal. Sam, can you share your mouse bindings? I can't seem to get mine to respond to the look around and zoom as I did in MSFS 2020. We'll take a look at that, Smokey, for sure, in a little while. We just want to finish this flight first, and then I'm going to take you through my settings, key bindings, and I'll also show you how I moved my installation folder or my community folder after the install from its default location to my preferred location on a separate drive. So all of that is coming pretty soon. All right, here is San Luis Obispo Airport. We're just going to land on this runway here. You can see that again, the data takes time for the data to load, but nonetheless, nothing too serious over, what we've seen in the previous sim. But the vegetation is definitely improved, and the colors are less saturated in this version. The ray traced shadows as well are implemented, so that's all pretty good. And here we go. Let's ease off on the power, and we're going to head over there to the runway and land the aircraft. Very nice looking scene here in the state of California. And by the way, guys, if you want me to fly in a specific place for our next flight, let me know. I do have a few places in mind. FS Labs just dropped a de-icing video on their YouTube channel. Oh, I'm looking at chat. PMGD doesn't work yet. A lot of things don't work yet. So just be aware that it might take some time for things to start working in this new sim. Navigraph has a lot of their products currently in beta, including the charts, but I think they will be able to very quickly bring the compatibility to the new sim. All right, so nothing overly different from the previous sim except for the visuals here. Right, let's go flaps full and maintain the 60 knots there. Now I have to say that this is a very nice looking scene here as we come into land at San Luis Obispo. Power to idle. And touchdown. Now, one of the things that has significantly improved as well in this version is the ground physics. So that's something that I really like now, and it's not as it used to be. The aircraft overall, all the aircraft overall fly. You can feel the heavy aircraft. You can feel the weight of bigger aircraft, and you can feel the lightness of general aviation aircraft. Prediction now that the sim is 100% depending on the scenery streaming in 2026. Version will come out and they will run service. Yeah, probably. It's a big undertaking from Microsoft to do that, in my view. And again, while it will relieve you from very quickly consuming your hard drive, it will introduce other problems where you will need a very reliable and very fast internet connection in order to enjoy this game. Thus far, I think things are okay, and we're doing pretty good. So I'm quite happy with whatever we're seeing and what we're experiencing so far. All right, let's bring the aircraft here to a stop. Let's set the parking brake, and we are going to kill the engines. First, let's turn off. There we go. No mixture. The engines should die. And eventually they do. That's pretty cool. Magneto's off, and the battery and alternator are both off. Now, normally if you click on the door, you're supposed to be able to exit. I'm not sure why this is now not working. It used to. But if you click on Shift and C, that will take you out to the walk-around mode again, as you can see here. And you can freely do whatever you like here. If you like to enjoy the scenery, that's something you can do. All right. Now, one thing I'd like to do is I'd like to go to the drone camera. And the drone camera works in exactly the same way as the previous version. The mappings are different, but it works in exactly the same way. And I just want to kind of show you guys around here as we look at the buildings and the trees here, as you can see. things look, you know, pretty nice, especially the trees here. You can see the build. What did I do? I must have messed things up. All right, so I really am not sure what I've done. I think to reset is R. There we go. Okay. All right, perfect. Let's go back to E. All right, so that, all right, here we go. You'll be able to see here, again, all of this is streamed, by the way. All of it is streamed, and so it might take a little bit of time, but you can really get an appreciation for the scenery. This is, again, one of, I think this is a handcrafted airport, but you can see the detail, the level of detail. Just plain vanilla Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 looks pretty good. I have to say, I have to admit that it looks pretty good. And the vegetation is probably one of the highlights of this sim, as you can see here. And as you go towards them, they don't disappear like they used to in 2020. Those really ugly 2D trees there. So that is something I think is a big improvement, and the VFR flyer will seriously appreciate this. Very, very cool. Okay, so that is our first flight. What we're going to do is now we're going to go somewhere else, and we're going to take a look at another aircraft in a different situation. And I think it is very important for me to do that, because that is the only way that you'll be able to decide whether the sim is for you or not. By the way, since the purchase, by the way, this is the premium deluxe version. Since the purchase, I have not had any, maybe 2 crashes to desktop. But other than that, it has been very, very stable. I'm not, okay, yeah. All right. Can you check out Italy? We will do that for sure. All right. So our next flight will be in Italy. He's slowly starting to see why a new version made sense. I still don't think so, to be honest. I still believe that a lot of the things that we're seeing would have been possible with the 2020 version. After all, this is the ESB platform. So anyway, we're going to take a look at these later. But first, let's go to first flight. And now we're going to select another aircraft. Maybe this time we'll go with the King Air. King Air. And by the way, we're not going to do full flights today. But I think we'll just try different aircraft. All right, so you guys want to go to Italy. Let's go to Italy. And in Italy, we have LICJ Pontaresi. Seems to be a handcrafted airport. So let's go down there. All right, so that's a helicopter. All right, there we go. We have the runways now. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, let's go to set departure here at runway 25. And we're going to say start flight. There are a few things I'd like to show you in this version of Microsoft Flight Sim, which I think are worth noting. One of which, okay, so not too bad in terms of the loading time, if you have a reliable internet connection, that is. So ready to fly, and I can't.
Tower Beechcraft, India. Hotel uniform.
We are in the outside view.
For
All
departing
right, there we
straight out
go.
at runway 25.
All right. So let's come here and change the time a little bit. Right, that's much better. All right. Now, I have to say, this looks pretty nice.
System test. Okay.
All right. And if we go to the drone camera and just take a look here, lovely colors. And there we go. All right. So what I'd like to do first is you can see how the gauges here just kind of loaded. So sometimes things don't load immediately and it takes a little bit of time. You can see the clouds are now loading. Sometimes the runways will not be loaded. So again, some of the disadvantages of having this. What I'd like to do is I'd like to release the brakes and go to the show you guys what happens when when you fly over the grass. Here, when you taxi over the grass. All right, let's go to external view. Look at that. You see the marking of the tires there, and you can see the dust coming out. Now that is very, very cool, I have to say. And this is something that adds to the immersion. You can see how the sounds also change from the back of the aircraft to the front of the aircraft. That is, again, very, very cool. And if you notice here, look at that. You see what happens here to the flowers and the grass because of the propellers. You can see the air being pushed, and this is actually simulated around the aircraft. Now, this is top-notch stuff, I have to say. This is very, very cool. And you can see here the markings remain until they stay actually for a while. So let's go ahead and release the brakes now. $2020 used to take 10 minutes. Now, again, I will say, guys, by the way, I have a 100 megabits per second internet connection, 100 megabits for the upload and the download. So, and I have a reliable connection. So if you do have a reliable connection, that is going to be no problem. But again, if you look at the average person, maybe you don't have, you know, such an internet connection, such a fast internet connection. So it might be very difficult for you to fly the sim and enjoy it like it ought to be. So this is one thing here I wanted to show you. Another thing that I'd like to show you is if we go to live weather. All right, let's do live. Actually, I wanted to do, let's see, do we have the, how come we don't have the landing lights on? Well, all right, let's come over here. Let me change the time here. Let me just put in the lights because I really can't see a thing. So let me come here. All right, so let's turn on the landing lights, nav lights, and strobe lights. All right, so we have the lights there. And we're going to turn on some of the interior lights if we can. Let's see, where are those? I think they're here. There we go. All right. The knobs don't seem to move, but at least we do have some lights. Okay, now we're going to go to live. And I want to show you something. Look at the beautiful lighting here, guys. Look at that. 3D lighting. This is something I really appreciate a lot. Which is pretty cool. Look at that. Very nice. Look at that. Now you can see the 3D lighting properly simulated here. So that is done very, very well in my view. And you can see the lights over at the airport are a bit exaggerated. I think the bloom is a bit too much in my view. But yeah. But the lighting, internal lighting of the aircraft is done pretty well, I have to say. All right. So we're going to go back to live. We're going to go to... before we go to... Hang on one second. I wanted to show you guys something else. So I'm going to select rain. All right. Now check this out, guys. Now this is pretty cool. If you look at that, you can see the rain here, and you can see it as well in the exterior view. You can see how the raindrops are shown where the light is casted. The scattering is done so well. You can see it all around the aircraft. You can see it right here. You can see the surface refraction done very, very well. The heat flare is, again, done very, very well in my view. And this is, all of these effects are definitely a big step up from Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, without a doubt. I mean, look at this. This is very, very immersive indeed. All right, you can see it again from the cockpit view. Again, you can see the beautiful lighting, the 3D lighting there, the landing lights, and you can see the raindrops there, and you can see it on the windshield. You can also use the windshield wipers here, and they will actually do something. So it's not like the previous version. Let me go here and change this to maybe daylight there. So now they actually do move the rain away and clean your windows for a nice departure. Again, you can see the surface refraction there during daylight, and here's a look at the outside view. You can see the wipers there, and you can see the lights also during daylight look very, very nice. Very phenomenal representation of the lights. So there we go. Let's turn this off and park the wipers, and now we can go back to we'll leave it. Actually, we'll just change the time here, but we're going to do live weather. There we go. All right. All right, so let's fly over in Italy, so you guys can again get another look at how things look like. Parking brake released. I really like this aircraft a lot. Notice the details on the runway. The runway textures are done very well across the sim at all the airports, and you'll get different variations at different airports, which is pretty nice. Right, we are airborne. King Air normally rotates at 120 knots, but that's okay. All right, why is it complaining? It's because of the flaps. Okay. So here is a look at the outside here. So what do you guys think? I think it looks pretty good. Yeah. Now, everything has been... Of course, everything is being streamed as we go, and I know that the position of the alerts is a bit off because I changed the scaling of my windows due to the bandwidth issue we've had in the beginning. So there you go. Yeah. All right. So we are getting about 160 FPS, and you guys know I have a 4090 with frame generation. So maybe it's a good time for us to hit escape here and take a look at the settings. All right, so settings here very quickly. Now, there are some things I do like in the new settings menu, and some things I do not like. What I do like is the granularity of settings that are available to you that you could use to customize your controls the way you like. What I do not like is that it is extremely difficult and very, very counterintuitive, very, very complex. Oh, wow, the sound is... Yeah, the sound is very good, yeah. Hello and welcome back. Thank you very much. Hey, V-Skycheck, welcome aboard, my friend. And welcome everyone who's just joined us here in chat. Welcome, guys. All right, so... If we look at the graphics, things haven't really changed that much in terms of options from the previous sim. I have HDR turned off at the moment. I'm currently running the sim at 2K. Anti-aliasing is TAA. Render scaling, I haven't used that. But by the way, this actually something that I highly recommend that you set this at 140 if you can, if your machine can take it. But for this particular stream, I did not touch anything. This was the default. So on default, based on my system settings, the sim has selected the Ultra preset for me. We'll take a look at that in a minute. NVIDIA DLSS frame generation is turned on. This one is of course... it doesn't really matter with TAA, but anyway, it's set to 100. NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency is turned on. Frame limit, this doesn't matter. Again, these two don't matter with the frame generation turned on. Now, if we go to the dynamic settings, frame target is 150. Again, this doesn't matter because I have frame generation enabled. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Now, if you look here, you have the terrain level of detail set to 200. The off-screen terrain pre-caching is high. Displacement mapping is set to on. This is going to show more details as you get closer to the terrain. Buildings, trees, plants, rocks, grass are all set to ultra. So this is something that you did not have as much granularity in setting in the previous sim, which is something that you can do now. You've got the objects level of detail at 200, and then the clouds, texture resolution all set to ultra. The anisotropic filtering 16, textures super sampling is 6. The water waves is high, which is the highest you can set. And this is the rest of my settings here. You can see them. So this is the ultra preset without changing anything into it. Anything to any of these options. You've got your language setting here, which you can select. The sounds, you can see that all my sounds are set to, I can set this maybe to TV. I didn't really notice any difference with any of these settings. Warning sounds in external view are turned on. VHF signal degradation, so that's when you hear the radios, you hear the ATC. Everything here is set to 100, so I'm not sure why the sounds are a bit low. Yeah, I'll try to figure that out. Now, online is where you set your online, the photogrammetry is obviously turned on. Aircraft traffic type, I've set this to off. You can turn it on for real world traffic. I have it off right now. Maybe once we have the AI traffic by what do you call it? I forgot their name. FS something. FS not traffic. I forget them. All right. So you have live weather enabled. Multiplayer is turned off. The servers. Now this is, you see, this is the USA. So I'm not sure. I used to always get the Asia server. But it looks like that server isn't working. But anyway, it's automatic. The fastest server will be selected anyway. Enable voice chat. I have all of this set up here. What else is important? All right, so the rolling cache limit is set to 16 GB. I've left that as it is. So I haven't really, and this is the current consumption of data. Bandwidth is obviously unlimited because I'm not on a metered connection. Here's a different settings for your camera. Again, you can play around with this. The flight model, modern, realistic. Now, I'm not sure why would someone go to legacy. I would, I mean, that's what, yes, switch flight model. Okay. So I wouldn't really think that anyone would, I think this is just not useful. I think they should just remove this. The flight interface is, I've changed the cockpit interaction system to legacy, but there are a lot of things, a lot of tooltips, which I personally do not like. So I've turned them all off, and I don't like the HUD and external view. So I've turned that off as well. This is where you turn them off. It took me a while to figure out where they are. And then from the advanced options, this is something for MSFS and then legal credits. Now, in the assistance, I've turned everything off. So I don't want any assistance from, piloting assistance. I think just as an immersion breaker. The gyro drift is on. Again, I've removed all of these: display active waypoint marker, flight path, taxi ribbon. This can be useful for big airports if you don't have Navigraph charts, for example. Pilot controls and notifications, again, turned off. I have disabled crash and damage so that when we're flying and we hit the ground, we don't have to restart the sim. I do have disabled stress damage and engine stress damage to off, so we will experience that in this sim if it so happens. It runs a lot smoother than 2020 for me, but the sim has issues. Yes, the sim does have issues. All right, so these are my settings here. G-effects are realistic. Turbulence is realistic. Jet pilot and so on and so forth. Obviously, I have the AI radio communications currently turned off, and ATC enforced flight plan also turned off. Okay, so these are my settings. Now, this is where it gets really, really confusing. You have different profiles here to set, and you know, you can set them per aircraft, which is cool, but in order for you to get to them, it's just so much, it's just not done very well. You keep scrolling down and back, and if you, someone wanted to see my mouse settings. So if you look at the mouse settings here, and I think he wanted the cockpit, let's see here. So you have the cockpit, the toggle cockpit free look is what you guys wanted to see. So you have that here, and the toggle cockpit view free lock hold is the left mouse button. Then you've got look down, look left, right, up, and up left. There you go. And these are the unzoom cockpit. This is the mouse wheel. And then you've got the focus here, reset the cockpit view, toggle cockpit view. I don't have anything mapped there. If there is something specific you wanted to see, please do let me know. Where have you been? Hey, Creamers, welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here with us. So, yeah, you can set this per aircraft, but it gets really, really annoying. And you should be able to see, you know, only the things that relate to this specific control. But yeah, it's pretty confusing, but suffice it to say that all my controls were automatically, this one, by the way, I have no clue what that is. Razer Huntsman V2 analog. I don't have that joystick. I don't really know what that is. But all my controls have been detected, and the initial mapping was acceptable. I had to change a lot of things for things to work properly. This is probably one of the things I do not like at all. I think it's very counterintuitive and very difficult to set things up in this version. This is for VR, guys. I don't have VR, but that's what the VR tab's for. And there is, you can go and configure your VR headset and what have you. All right, so we're going to go back now, and we are going to head back to the main menu. So main menu. All right. Now I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to let me know what you want me to do now that we actually, let's go ahead and take a quick look here at activities. So we have flight training, rally race, low altitude, landing challenge. This one seems to be locked. Discovery, this is something that comes directly from 2020, and custom content. So Flying Academy and things like that will probably be there. If you look at the World Photographer, this is where you can, let me just click here and show you. So this is where you can do some sightseeing and take pictures. Not something that I would probably ever explore in the sim, but I can show you here. This is where you go, you know, for the safari, animals worldwide. Again, not my idea of a flight sim, but it's there for the taking. If that's something that you like to do, then that's something you can definitely do. Now we can see bandwidth too low, loading times may be extended, and world streaming degraded. So looks like a lot of people are on the sim right now. So yeah. Okay, so you'll get your stuff from MSFS 20 over to, yes, you do, and unfortunately they do it without your consent. So this morning or last night, I think, it says, by the way, all of your MSFS 2020 purchases are now synced, but I couldn't see the scenery. I can only see the airplanes that I've purchased. So MS said Red Bull pilots testing before approving the air races. Cool. Whose Cessna is that? All right. So what we can do now, folks, is again, we can take a look maybe at one of the airliners. What do you guys, which one you guys like to see? We can take a look maybe at one of the newer ones. I know the 737 MAX has been showcased a lot by a lot of the other streamers. So let me see here. All right, so let me just very quickly, you can see that I purchased the ATR in the previous sim, so it is here. I did not confirm whether it works or not, but you can see that I have a bunch of aircraft. You can see the AnyBuilds A310 is here, and you have the A321 by AnyBuilds, as well as the A320neo version 2 by AnyBuilds available. The A330 from AnyBuilds is there, and you have the Airbus A400M by Microsoft and AnyBuilds available there as well. All right, let me take a quick look here at the poll, and here's the poll results, guys. So it looks like most of you do not want the full flight today. I promise you that I will be back on Tuesday, and I will be streaming a full flight for you guys in Microsoft Flight Sim. So let's go ahead and load maybe, let's see, the A320. Okay, so now in this version of Microsoft Flight Sim, when you click on an aircraft, you'll see that there is a configure button here. And if you click that button, it will take you to the aircraft details, where you can select the livery of the aircraft, as you can see here. So we have, again, it looks like the bandwidth is, we're having issues with bandwidth, so it's taking time to load. But you can see that there is EasyJet, Global Freightways, Iberia, Orbit, Pacifica, Spirit, so Wizz Air, some real-world liveries, which is always a plus. And you can also set the fuel and payload from within the aircraft configuration menu. So if you say manage fuel, you can simply come here and select how much fuel you want. You can use the mouse wheel, or you can move this little circle. Just click this dot to where you want it, and that's it, really. You have your fuel set, and you can also set your aircraft mass, manage mass, and EFB. So that's something you can, again, come here to set up. You have also a quick fill option here, which can come in handy, and you can say load in aircraft. Loading was successful, says that, so we can now close the EFB. So visually, I think it's very pleasing. But the only problem I see specifically is the streaming, is the internet reliability issue. And now again, we're having bandwidth issues again. So let me just come here and let's try to load in. What do you guys think? The A330, or how can I get it over and download stuff from 20? Oh, okay. I will show you that, guys, in a minute. All right, so let's go ahead and do maybe the A320 bandwidth too low, loading times may be extended, and world streaming degraded. Okay. All right, so since we got this, I'll give it some time here. Maybe it will improve with time. Let me show you guys something that I've done with my installation. So if you go to, you'll find that everything in Microsoft Flight Sim is available in app data, local, and then if you go to packages, now you have to scroll to Microsoft.limitless, very strange name, and from limitless you can go to local cache. From local cache you'll have the user.cfg opt file. Now, if you click and open this file and scroll all the way to the bottom here, it says installed packages path. This is going to have a path that's in your app data folder, which is not what I want, because I want everything to come from my drive where the sim is installed. So I created a folder called MSFS 2024, and I've changed the path of the installed packages path to this path. Now, if you go to my Microsoft Drive, you'll see that I have Microsoft Flight 2024, and I have the community folder here. Obviously, it's empty. I tried, by the way, one of the scenery files from 2020. It does load in 2024, but it looks horrible. So that's how you would change the installation folder. I couldn't find the option that was available in 2020, but For me, it's very important that everything runs from this drive and not from my C drive, because C drive is where my operating system is installed. So I wanted the sim to run all the add-ons from the community folder and not from the C drive. Okay, so that's that. Let's go ahead and try to load the A320. So I'm going to say save, and we're going to go to a less involved airport. What do you guys think? Which airport would you like me to go to? Let's see here. We've been to Italy, so maybe we'll go to London Heathrow, maybe? What do you guys think? Let's do that. Let's go to EGLL. All right, London Heathrow. And obviously we're gonna put the aircraft on the... we're gonna select a nice position there to... yeah, I can see the loading is taking a little bit of time. So, again, I don't know if this is something to do with me or something to do with Microsoft Flight Sim. So, gate heavy set as departure, and let's say start flight. All right, let's take a look and see what happens here. I did have to close the sim several times when it gets stuck, but we'll see what happens. Germany. All right, we'll do Germany in our next look at one of the aircraft, and then maybe we'll take a look at career mode as well. Hopefully, it's to be expected with any launch. I'm sure there's refining to be done. I agree with you that you know, things are expected. You know, hiccups are expected with the new sim, but quite frankly, if I am to look at MSFS 2020 and 2024, and if I tell you that I'm not a scenery guy, the beluga, yeah, we can do that for sure. I mean, I don't really care much if the scenery, I really want to focus on the aspects of flying. And just because that's what my focus is on, I really don't see that much of a difference between the two sims. I mean, yes, the user interface has changed. A lot of the visual effects have been improved. The physics have been improved. But overall, it's not a revolutionary sim as opposed to, you know, Microsoft Flight 2020. I think, yeah, I mean, that's my opinion. Of course, you don't have to agree with me. All right. So we are now loaded at London Heathrow, and thankfully didn't take very long to load. And this is now an airliner, and it's not moving. I think it takes time for things to load. By the way, you can inspect all of these. So let me see here. Yeah, it's just not moving for some reason. All right, let's see here. We go to settings. If I go to controls, keyboard, and if I go to yeah, I'm not sure why it's not. All right, let's see here. It's still not allowing me to do the walk around. It's not all right, there we go. Something triggered. It looks like the aircraft was loading. All right. So again, if you look here at the texturing, it's of the highest order. Very, very nicely done by Inibuilds and Microsoft. For a plane that you get by default, I think is pretty cool. And again, you can come here and check things out. Let's see there. So it's checked. So again, it allows you to perform a full walk around for even the biggest aircraft in the sim, which is pretty cool. Now, if the aircraft that you have loaded does not support the walk-around mode, you can always go to Shift and C, and that will put you right into the cockpit. I do understand you, but the atmospheric lighting makes it difficult for me to go back. I just use XP for my airlines needs until it gets there. Hope you enjoy the sim. Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of good aspects in this new sim, but the streaming thing, streaming the data from the cloud is just a mess. It's just really, really a mess. Okay. Let me take this to a different time of the day. Maybe we can see things. There we go. All right. So again, you can see here the nice cockpit. Very nice texturing overall. And this is the external view here. We are at London Heathrow. And if we come here, let me see here. All right. So if I go to battery 1, battery 2, and there we go. Again, very nice sounds. Cruise supply. I'm going to go ahead and turn on those. Okay. So I'm going to reset the view. Okay. So what we can do here is the following. I want to bring up the communication. I'm going to tune into Heathrow Ground. And we are going to go to the ground services and request passenger boarding.
Heathrow Ground Airbus Golf. Kilo Zulu Bravo Golf. Could you please get the passengers on board?
Now the
Airbus
sounds.
Golf. Kilo Zulu Bravo Golf, the jetway is going to be connected.
All right. So as you can see here, you have all the ground services here working as they should, which is pretty cool. And I do like the fact that you can communicate with ATC and the ground services of the airport out of the box. You don't need any add-on to do this. It's just, it works. And this is something I'll have to give to Asobo. This was also available in MSFS 2020. But again, I think the sounds are quite nice. And I think it's very important that the aspects of flight and the operations are simulated properly. And I would say that all the improvements that they've done in terms of, bringing the visual effects for one, and the improved ATC is something I really have a lot of appreciation for in this version of Microsoft Flight Sim. Q8, hello Captain, how did you manage to get your taxi lights dimmed at night? Most of the time they are too bright. I don't know. I haven't done anything really. Hi Q8, happy to see you again. Hope you and the family are... Hello Anthony, welcome aboard my friend. I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, welcome. Thank you very much for the support. I appreciate it, my friend. All right. So as you can see here, everything here is looking in tip-top shape as far as the visuals, aside from, all right. Now this is what I'm talking about. You see guys, this blur here, again, this is something to do with the bandwidth and loading of the data. This is something this is what puts me off really. From this version of Microsoft Flight Sim. I don't think that this is done well. While I believe this is a brilliant idea, and I am always a proponent of new technology and making the sim new-gen, but is this really the right approach for a flight sim? I don't know, and I'm dubious, to be honest. You can see now everything is back online. You can see all the textures have loaded again. We'll do a full flight on Tuesday, so I know that most of you guys today wanted just to see an overview, so here's one. All right, what do you guys like to do next? Would you like to do a look at the career mode, or would you like to load up another aircraft? I know one of you guys said they wanted to see the Beluga, and one of you guys wanted Germany. So we'll do that. Let's go ahead and load the Beluga at Germany. Maybe we'll put it at Munich. Oh, no. Now the sim is acting up. So now I click on free flight and it's frozen. We could give it a few minutes, but my recommendation is to close the sim and bring it back up, because just simply again, this is something I suffered with when the bandwidth is low. This normally happens. You click on free flight and it doesn't go there, and what I tend to do is just close the sim. I've given it you know, you can give it a few minutes, and sometimes it does load, but most of the time it doesn't. So it's always, you know, just turn off, you know, just kill the sim altogether. There's no, by the way, safe mode anymore because obviously everything is streamed. So helicopter in London. I do have to show you the helicopters. Yes. I don't see any reason to get this. I'm not willing to risk losing my 2020 add-ons in the hopes they will fix it for the new sim. Yeah, I think streaming scenery is fine. The base stuff like airports and your plane should be on your hard drive. Alex, I probably agree with you. For that. I'm definitely holding off for a bit. That's actually a good thing to do. All right, you can see now the sim is frozen for some reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill it. There we go. Just when I was going to turn it off, it heard me. All right, so I can't show you all the aircraft today, but I know one of you guys said they wanted the Beluga. So we're going to say save and back. And one of you said Germany. So we'll say maybe Munich. Did I put Nuremberg? No, let's put Munich. I can't see my keyboard because... All right, let me just do this. There we go. All right. Okay. So far, by the way, it has been behaving very well. I have to say, in terms of bandwidth, but now I can see the degradation there. Now you can see the, you know, everything loading, and sometimes it loads, sometimes it doesn't load. Sometimes it looks good, sometimes it looks horrible. But anyway, let's bring up the Beluga here and let's say fly now. And hopefully it doesn't take forever to bring it back, to load the scene. So, hi Kuwait, I heard there's an improvement to DFW. Could you check it out? We can definitely do that. Of course, you agree, we're both in IT. We know how it works. Yeah, that's true, Alex, and welcome, my friend. I'm very glad that you were able to make it this evening. So, we'll see what happens here with the Beluga. I flew the Beluga earlier today. There are a few things I'd like to show you as well with the helicopters, which I think are worth showing to you guys. But you can see now how things are kind of loading. Now, in comparison and in all fairness, when we loaded into MSFS 2020, sometimes it took like 7-8 minutes to load the scene. But the good thing was that when the scene is loaded, everything was there. Your aircraft is there, the scenery is loaded, everything is just ready. Here, you have to wait for things to load, and when the scene actually loads, you know, you'll end up seeing part of the aircraft, you know, not loaded. You'll see some cones floating in the sky, or perhaps the runway textures aren't that crisp. So you'll get a lot of these issues when you are actually loading the data, and this can get exacerbated if your internet connection is not reliable, or if you're having an issue with your ISP, or simply you don't have the bandwidth. Even at 100 megabits per second, I'm having issues, and sometimes longer than usual loading times. All right. So here we are. You guys wanted the Beluga. So here is the Beluga. Let me change the time of day so you guys can see a little better. There we go. Here we go. There. By the way, the clouds are not always nice, I have to say. I have to tell you guys that. Yeah, they're sometimes not all that great. Again, you can see here that it takes a little bit of time for things to load. You can see the runway texture is exactly what I was just talking about. And you can see the aircraft textures aren't loaded yet. Earlier today, for some reason this engine is not running, and I don't know why. So things are loading. I'm going to go ahead and start the APU. Again, you can see here nothing is loaded. right? You can see that it just really takes a lot of time for things to load. When they do load, it's actually pretty good, and I get pretty decent FPS as well, with just about all the aircraft in all the locations. My problem is exactly what I've been talking to you guys about at the beginning. You see how everything here is blurry, and we're still waiting for the textures here to load. You can see nothing is, you can see here, nothing is there. All right, let me just put this back here. It's just taking forever to load things. Yeah. All right. Here in the external view, the clouds look pretty nice. I have to say the colors look very nice. But in some situations, overcast conditions are still not properly simulated in this version. The weather radar on the aircraft is simulated, by the way, and it works. Let me change the time of day further. There we go. Here, that's maybe a better time of the day. There you can see the scattered clouds, and we can still see that the aircraft texture is still not loaded, which is just really a bummer that you have to wait this long for things to load. Yeah, unfortunate. All right, you can get some things are loading now. Some things at least. Yeah, you still can't see. Nothing is loaded here. Maybe we'll just take off with. This engine isn't working, so let me just come here real quick and turn on the APU, and I'll just do this from memory. You can see here, you know, nothing is loaded. Again, everything looks very strange. Yeah, it looks like plastic, like molded plastic, without the textures. But there you go. That's MSFS 2024 for you. Yeah, again, here we go. Bandwidth low, loading times may be extended, and world streaming degraded. I mean, they got to do something about this, because this is no good. This is definitely no good. All right, so I believe this is the APU bleed, if I'm not mistaken. Is it this one or this one? I think it's this one. Well, they both turn on, so... All right. So, let's see if we can get the engine, second engine to start. Let's see here. Still nothing here. The aircraft needs loading. Ah, there we go. All right, so the engine is spooling, and we can see the textures very slowly coming in, but still far from complete. We can see at least everything here on the panels now. The MCDUs are still need work. They're still being downloaded. You can see part of the aircraft textures now. But I think this is, again, testimony to what I was telling you guys in the beginning, that unless you have a reliable connection, and unless everything is okay on Microsoft's side, I quite frankly don't know if everything is okay on their side as of this moment or not. But you can see that we're suffering here with the loading of the textures. Asobo are allegedly bringing more servers online, but it is a slow process, so many people not happy. Obviously doable. I mean, especially people that have paid the price we have now. Both engines are available. People who paid, you know, $100 for Premium Deluxe, for example, and are unable to fly the sim are obviously going to be very upset. And believe me, I'm upset as well. And you know what? I'm very glad I did not delete Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 because at least I can still fly, you know, the PMDGs of the world and not having to worry about bandwidth issues. Let's take a look here. You can see some of the overhead panel is already there. And now we can see at least the outside, with the exception of the right engine, has loaded properly. Okay, so very nice looking aircraft. All right, let's go ahead. Now again, you see the blurs here. All right, let's go ahead anyway to release the parking brake, and let's go. The sounds are nice. Finally, we have the weather loaded. Woohoo! The airport is pretty nice, isn't it? The airport scenery is pretty cool. Now this looks really good, I have to say. Let's make a turn. Still the blurred textures inside the aircraft, unfortunately. I anticipate they'll add an option for what level of client versus server data individuals want. This isn't the best they can do. I would hope that they'll consider something like that, because this experience is very, very bad. Yeah. Right. Here is the sim. At least you can see, again, blurred textures there. The clouds look pretty nice. Tell you, it does feel heavy as you turn this this beluga. We're gonna just gain a little bit of altitude here. Again, look at that overhead panel. Barely can barely see the. We can take a look at the weather. There we go. Standard is set. Blurred textures all over the place. You can fly the sim, but who wants to fly the sim with all these blurred textures, to be honest? Do F-18. Alright, Pilot Peely, welcome aboard, my friend. Glad to have you here. I thought they gave you an option to download airplanes and scenery locally. If they are aircraft and scenery you fly in regularly. I did not see that option. If you know where that option is, Pilot Peely, please do let me know. Mr. Mike says, my question is, if you were streaming all this data, then people are going to start going over their data limit, even on home internet. Once that happens, then their bandwidth gets throttled. Yeah, that's for sure. Q8, did you increase your cache size? No. I left it at 16 GB. Alright. Does it know if dynamic setting frame rate target, which you can set in the menu, considers frame gen or not? No, if you have frame gen on, then the limit, FPS limit, will be ignored. Glad I didn't buy this. Yeah, a lot of people would be very glad they didn't buy it because of the streaming data. You can see again the data underneath, still not loaded, and you can see a lot of the aircraft parts are not loaded as well due to the bandwidth issues right now. So, yeah, there are definitely a lot of positive points, but equally negative points. Overall, I don't think that the sim is in a state where it should have been launched. I think that Asobo should have done more extensive testing before launching it. Now, I'm going to do for you guys one more aircraft of your choice, and I think we should do a helicopter because I do want to show you the effects in helicopters. Cache should be at least 30 GB. Really, Dougal? Wow. All right. Well, let's do that now then. We can come here and we can go to online, and we'll come here and change that to 30. And I guess it gets reset every day. All right, updating rolling cache. This may take several minutes. Please don't turn off the system. All right. Well, we can do that. All right, 100% is done. Okay, save and back. All right, so we do want to do a helicopter, guys, because I do want to show you some of the nice effects. I was flying earlier today in 2024. I watched my Ethernet download volume. It hit a few times over 400 megabytes per second on my 1 GB connection while loading in scenery during flight. Wow, that is a lot. Same menu, just darker. Problems in QL. They needed 10 million users to discover they screwed up, sadly. Yeah, they did. Yeah. All right. So they did screw up in royally in a lot of ways. But you know what? The sim has a lot of promise. My recommendation, guys, is not to purchase the sim at this point in time. Wait until it's refined. Wait until it's gotten a little more mature. I mean, the fact that this is Microsoft and Asobo, and for the number of years that they've been in this franchise, I personally would have thought that this was going to blow my mind. But it kind of, I was like, what? This is the new sim? No, cannot be. But yeah, obviously, you know, it comes as a disappointment to a lot of people. I know a lot of people have went ahead and gotten refunds as well, because they just felt that this was not, you know, what they were expecting. So huge disappointment to a lot of people in the flight sim community. And again, if you guys know me and you've been following the channel long enough, you know I will not sugarcoat anything, and I will not say anything that is, you know, something that I cannot justify to myself, let alone not justifying to the community. So I cannot justify to myself paying what I've paid for this sim and having this experience. Just not acceptable in my opinion. I know that they were very apologetic, they were sorry and all that, but again, that doesn't mean that, you know, people are happy with what they're doing. I can see that the loading is a bit faster now. So let's pick any area here. I just want to show you some of the effects in the helicopters. Maybe we'll pick something. Maybe we'll pick this one here, such as departure, and let's fly. All right. So yeah, it's quite unfortunate that you know, that the sim is in this state currently. But definitely my recommendation for you guys would be not to purchase the sim at this point in time, and wait until it is mature. Of course, if you are itching to try it out, yeah, why not? Go ahead and spend your money. But I will tell you now, if you don't have a reliable internet connection, you're going to encounter a lot of issues. So even with my 100 megabits per second connection, I'm still having issues. So anyway, let me bring that there. All right. Now, a lot of things you'll see now. Again, you can see that it looks like Gotham City with you know, the building not loaded. But what I'd like to show you here is you can see the blades as they. You see the effect there on the grass. I mean, this is next level. I mean, this is a game changer for me. This is really cool. Let me change the time of day here. No, that's not it. Let me change the time of day. Maybe it'll give you a better look at... there we go. All right, here we go. I think this is much better. So here you can see how this looks. The effect of the blades turning is something I really like. So visually, I think they brought in a lot of features, a lot of immersion features in order to make this sim very believable. You can see here when I told you at the beginning, or maybe towards the middle of this stream, that the clouds sometimes look horrible. This is one of the situations where the clouds look just awful. They remind me of Dovetail Games, the flight sim that Dovetail Games came up with. I mean, this is not good. Right. Okay, so we're gonna just give it power here. Again, look at that. The dust there looks really cool. I'm not a very good helicopter guy, but you can see how this looks here. All right, it's loaded the clouds now. They look. This is really, really cool. I mean, I really, really like the visual effects in FS 2024, which I think are done quite well without having to have any add-ons or any, packs or anything like that. Just out of the box, it looks really, really good. All right, let's switch to internal view here, and let's try to do some helicopter flying. Again, this really doesn't look very good. The Gotham City look and feel here because of the data that needs to be streamed. But overall, I have to say that the visual elements of this sim are outstanding and are truly next gen. Whether the marking of the tires on the grass, whether the dust that you see from running the helicopter blades there, I think it does happen on the water as well. So we're going to attempt to do that. We'll pick a nice spot there to simulate that, or maybe we'll go closer to the ground to a water surface and see what happens. But overall, there is a variety of aircrafts. I cannot attest to the accuracy of those aircraft, but I know the Inibil's A310 is one that I really am itching to try in 2024. So we'll do that. Let's ease off here. I can see a couple of yachts ahead of us. Let's switch to external view. The sim runs very smooth, by the way. No stuttering or issues like that so far. Alright, where are we going? Alright, let's go over there. Again, looking at the vegetation here is just really, really cool. All right, let's see if we can bring it down a little bit. All right, let's see here. I'm not sure if we're going to be successful, but I'm going to try. There you go. You can see that? Look at the effect there of the... I think you can see it now. Look at that. The ripple. The water ripples there from the blades. Wow. Very, very nice indeed. I mean, yes. The effects are done very well. The sim definitely has a lot of potential. But I tell you guys, they have got to fix this bandwidth issue. They need to do this very quickly, and then maybe the sim will be in a state where I can recommend that you spend your money on it. But right now, my recommendation is to hold off. There we go. Here is a nice area as we fly this helicopter. I've noticed also that the traffic, so cars and things like that, are also done nicely. See that the again, that's not correct there. Pinkish color there is definitely off, reminiscent of Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. Overall, not bad, not bad. All right. Now we're going to go back to the main menu, and again, you guys can tell me what you'd like to see. I've seen some, and I'm, by the way, very sorry that I'm not really paying too much attention to chat today, because I do want to show you as much as possible. But I'm here. Why are the trees grown out of the cruise ship? Yeah, well, some aspect look very nice. Yes, agreed. Hello, Thomas. Welcome aboard. Good evening to you, my friend. SPZO, please. Okay. Any specific aircraft, Christian? SPZO. Where's that? Looks like Brazil. SPZO. All right. And let's see here. How is the verdict? Well, the verdict, I think, has been given over the stream. So the verdict is it's a sim that has a lot of potential. I do love the new visual effects that bring a lot of immersion into the flying experience. However, the sim from the platform perspective is still not mature enough to warrant my full recommendation of purchasing it and spending your money on it. It needs to be mature. It needs to fix a lot of the issues around the streaming of data. That remains to be a problem for a lot of folks. All right. The ATR, how about the ATR? Okay, well, we can do the ATR. But it's from it's from the previous sim. I can do that, but would you guys like to see something from the new sim? Perhaps the A330, maybe, or maybe the Airbus A400, or something like that. Or maybe we'll take some of the, let's see. Let me see. By the way, you'll be very pleased to know that you have the Cirrus Vision Jet G2 by FlightFX, as well as the Honda Jet by Marwan Gharib. Both are available in the sim. I'm still looking at bricks. How is the GA? GA is all right. All right, you know what? Let's bring up the 172. Such an iconic aircraft. So let's go save and back, and let's see here. We're gonna bring it on the runway 28, and let's say start. There we go. Mark your calendars, guys. On Tuesday, we're going to be doing a full flight. I'll pick one of the perhaps any builds aircraft to fly. I will run a poll beforehand to see which one you guys want me to fly, and eventually we'll be flying some of the other aircraft as well. Good news today that X Aviation and TorqueSim have announced the Citation 550 for X-Plane 12. That got me very excited. All right, here we go. Ready to fly.
Tower Cessna, Oscar Bravo. 5625 ready at runway 28 departing straight out.
All right, let's see here. I'm not sure why my mouse isn't working now. Is it because the aircraft isn't loaded? All right, you can see now things are loading. Ah, this is a really nice area, isn't it? Why is this not loading? Nothing inside the cockpit is loading. I can't move my mouse for some reason inside the cockpit. Huh, strange. All right, let's see. Let's check the settings. Again, this is very, very annoying. Let's go to controls, mouse. All right, so this is the, why is it not working? The mouse is just simply not moving. Strange. All right, well, doesn't want to move. All right, let's go ahead and take off. Parking brake released. This scenery looks pretty nice, I must say. I can stream from the UK servers now. I think it depends on which server we're on. I think that it matters as it switches automatically. You know, we can... Why is my mouse not moving? Very strange. All right, we are at rotation speed. Let's rotate. Aviation Jack, welcome aboard, my friend. It looks gorgeous when it works, yes. I have to say, I would have to agree with you there. But now I can't move around the camera as if the... now this moves. Now it moves. What's up with that? Maybe something wasn't loaded. I have to say, this looks pretty good, doesn't it? Yeah, it does look very good.
Don't sink. Don't sink.
I think we lost our engines, guys.
Don't sink.
We definitely lost our engines. We stressed the engine. That's pretty cool, huh? It's pretty cool that this is actually simulated, that you just don't... Yeah. And here is an aviation accident. Oof. All right, so you have failures. Oof.
Okay.
All systems are okay, really? All right, so here we go. All right, let's go back to the main menu. And you guys want to take a look at career mode, maybe? Internet connection didn't stream enough fuel going into the engine. By the way, that might be the case, but yeah, nice landing. All right, so by the way, guys, you can always refer to the beginning of the stream where we took the 152 from Oceana County to San Luis Obispo in California. I think that was a really good flight to take a look at, to just kind of examine. Looks to me that the C-172 modeled much differently than the C-152. Yes. By the way, I find the 152 to be incorrectly modeled as far as the flight model. I don't think it's done very well, but the 172 is actually pretty good. When you can't see your mouse, push Alt Enter and then do it again. It should resolve the mouse issue. Oh, thank you very much, Anonymous. Appreciate that. Can this background switched off? Yes, we can. If we go here to the sounds and we can go to music. There you go. Was it bothering you that much? All right, so no more music. There you go. All right, so we can do career mode. We can take a look at career mode if you guys like, or we could take a look at another aircraft at another location, since the bandwidth issue seems to have been resolved. All right, let's go to free flight here very quickly, and let's see. Where aircraft would you guys like me to take for a flight here? Hot air balloon. I know nothing about them, but yeah, we can do that. Motorized hot air balloon, Airship Industries, Sobo Studios, balloon. All right, career mode would be nice too. All right. Well, can you disable the walk around and also make the flight start inside the cockpit? I don't know. I don't know if we can disable, but if you don't want to do the walk around mode, you can always hit Shift and C and it will take you directly to the cockpit. Just make sure that you... All right, so I know nothing about this, guys, and I've turned off all the assists, so you're going to have to kind of help me with it. If you lower count with the mouse holding down right button, no other peripheral gets input until you stop looking around. Notice this today. Yes, that's correct. And by the way, you can configure this, Krister. So, all right, motorized air balloon, save and back. And maybe we can do it somewhere here in South America. Let's see here. Or maybe, just maybe, we just put it somewhere in the air. Yeah, we don't have to depart somewhere. We'll just put it like here. Set as departure. Start flight. There you go. Let's see what happens. Okay, I did not know that. Thank you. It would have been... Yeah, that's a very good input. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. So, based on what you guys have seen, what do you think? I think a lot of you guys said that, you know, they're not going to be purchasing the sim and what have you. All right, ready to fly. All right, so I have no clue what I need to do. The controls don't do anything here. So I really don't know what I'm doing, guys. But this is the hot air balloon. I'm not sure how to even start it. There is some... Ah, there we go. There is something here. We can push the throttle. Cruise control. Didn't start anything yet. Emergency stop button. Oh, okay. So something you're not supposed to push. All right, so nothing here. Push the throttle. I don't think I have any of the controls mapped to this. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't have anything mapped to the controls. So we are definitely moving down. There's your tablet. Yeah, quite honestly, guys, I don't know how to work this out. So, my apologies to you all. You can see that we're very slowly descending. The heater is on top. The controls might be above you. Yeah, I really don't know, guys. It would be very difficult for me to learn this on stream. But I promise you that we'll do it in another stream once I kind of get my way around this. But yeah, it looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Why do we hear the horns of cars? Let's see what happens once we actually hit the ground. I have to say the vegetation in this version of Microsoft Flight Sim is really next gen. They really nailed the vegetation. Bush flying is going to be, you know, is going to be very nice and very pleasant for people that love that. Auto start, just look pan around. Yeah, I really don't know, guys. But here we are. We've landed safely. There you go. Yeah. All right. So, let's do one more thing for you guys here, and then maybe we'll take a... You guys want to take a look at career mode first, or you want to do another flight? Safely, yeah. Quote, unquote. Career mode is, in my opinion, so far, really well made. Car horns, yeah. 747 Dream Lifter, Air Hub. How about night lighting over populated city? Yeah, let's try that. I think that's something we haven't tried. Okay, so we are going to go to, let's see here, airplane, and we want, let's see, which one should we pick? Guys, look at this. Captain Sim 777. Oh, God. All right. You know what? We can take the 7. All right. Let's say currently, actually in Kuwait right now. It's see. Okay. So let's go save and back, and let's go to somewhere in Europe here. Let's see. We know Vienna, maybe. Yeah, let's do Vienna and fly now. All right, let's do that. Let's see how things look like during nighttime. I actually selected Vienna before I looked at the chat, but yeah. Night lighting over a populated city. I think thanks for making that recommendation, Cam. And I think we haven't seen the night lighting yet. And by the way, the lighting over at the airports, I think the bloom of the lighting at the airports is way too exaggerated. So let's see what happens in this specific scenario where we fly over Vienna. Vienna is a beautiful city. I've been to Vienna many times in the past. Again, you can see how this weight is just, it just kills me. And then once you're loaded into the sim, you start getting the aircraft loading, runways loading, which is really bad. So that is a huge drawback of the sim. So we'll just wait for things to load. And it's taking quite a bit of time. Yeah. So on Tuesday, we are going to be streaming a full flight in Microsoft Flight Sim. I will be running a poll to kind of figure out which aircraft you guys would prefer that I fly in the sim. And next Saturday, we are going to be going back to X-Plane. Again, I think there's a lot of coverage of 2024, and with its current issues, bandwidth too low. Again, here we go. Again, with all the issues with bandwidth and things like that, I prefer to maybe go back to explain that deserves the coverage. A new beta of 12.1.3 is out, and the sim is looking very, very good. So that is what we're going to be doing on Saturday. This coming Tuesday, though, just recognizing that the sim is brand new, and people are wanting to take a look at some of its features and things like that. So we're going to do that on Tuesday. Is bloom toggle? I don't know. Yes, the coverage is bloated. We need to see a real flight simulator. Well, Anthony, this is expected. Again, content creators are going to want more subs and more views, and to be honest with you, everyone is awaiting 2024. You're going to start seeing all the settings videos now coming out. I will do a settings video once I am fully comfortable with the sim, but you can see now how long it's taken to load. It's just kind of starting to really get on my nerves now. Eventually it might load, but it's just really, really slow right now. And when I keep getting those notifications of bandwidth too low, streaming data is not good, and this and that, it just really puts me off. My son, by the way, was also very disappointed. Is GSX working? It seems to be crashing for me. Yes, it is crashing. So my recommendation is do not install it yet. I did see the Kotal engine has the Kotal.MSFS 2024. So now when you update to the latest version, you'll get that. Just make sure that you don't link it and don't install it into MSFS 2024. It does work sometimes, but for the most part, yeah, it crashes. So I think it's still not officially supported, so just give it some time. I know Navigraph I can show you here real quick while, the servers figure out what they want to do with us. So you can see already Navigraph Hub has a new option, which is the 2024, and all of these are currently in beta. Now, I did not install any of these for the flight because I didn't want to introduce anything external to the sim. I really wanted to show you guys the sim in plain vanilla, all the agonies of it. So now you can see how long it's been since we maybe I should just turn off the sim and start it somewhere else. Maybe Vienna is just too much for the data to be streamed for this region. Maybe we should have done somewhere less dense in terms of scenery. But yeah, this is getting really boring. How did you get 2024 Navigraph? You just really need to run the Navigraph Hub. So if you run it now, if you actually turn it on now, it will update to the latest version, and you'll be able to see 2024 in there. All right, so guys, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm kind of losing my patience now. It's just taking way too long, and maybe we should just force the sim out, start it again, and maybe we'll load into another location because it's just really taking too much time. What do you guys think? I know it's high GPU loads, not so much CPU. Yes, this is very indigenous to Microsoft Flight Sim, where the GPU it's GPU intensive. Any news about Phoenix? Not yet, no. So let me see if I can actually go back. I don't think we can go back. Unfortunately. You could back out and go to an area that I tried to go back. I pressed escape, but nothing happens. Let's see. Now it looks like it's frozen. After all this time, and now it's frozen. Now it doesn't want to do anything. It's mad at us because we hit the escape button. Yeah. All right. So I think it's best that we just close the sim, task manager, and FS 2024 in task. There we go. And we'll just start this sim again. What to do, guys? Hopefully it doesn't take too long to start the sim. But yeah, unfortunately, this is something that almost everyone encountered. I believe on the first day, people were actually queued to to log into the sim, so you had to wait in a queue. You should start XP. Yeah, just unacceptable. I totally agree with you guys there that it is unacceptable. I hope that they work things out because I seriously do believe that this sim has the potential of being one of the best flight simulators. I do not care at all for career mode. I don't care for that. I don't care for activities. I don't care for the challenges. I only care for the aspects of flight that we're accustomed to in the past. I don't like arcade stuff. I don't like games or, this guy comes and simulates being in a FBO, and I just don't like this kind of stuff. I never did, and I don't think I'll ever will. But I do like the visual fidelity in the new sim. I have to say that they've thought about a lot of things that were not available in 2020. I still don't know why they haven't upgraded the previous sim to basically have those things. I think it would have been easier to do that. But again, it's a franchise that seeks out money. And obviously they're a business. They made a lot of money from 2020, and it's probably starting to pretty much, just about everyone who loves flight simming has probably purchased 2020. So for them, it's the sales become very slow, and they say, well, let's come up with a new version, and that version will bring in loads of new revenue. That's how business people think. So yeah, all right. So not too bad in terms of starting the sim. So now you've seen the startup of the sim from desktop. You can see that it's not very long when your internet connection is good. So we're back here now. And I forgot what we wanted to do when we were back. You wanted night lighting. Firefighting and others are simulated jobs. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. Ryan, again, not my type of thing. I find career is great. It's refreshing compared to the old go here, go there. Well, that's good. I'm glad that you like it. And that's the important thing, by the way. The important thing is that you find in the simulator what you're looking for and what makes your experience worthwhile. Just for me, career mode is not for me. Okay, so here's what we'll do. We'll take a smaller aircraft and we'll go to a smaller airport. Let's see here. We could use, by the way, one of those really fast aircraft. Cessna C400. Yeah, why not? Working title simulations, the SR-22. You know what? Let's take that one. Yeah. All right, save and back. And we're going to go to Kuwait's homeland of Kuwait International. And we're just going to say fly now. There we go. All right. Bite for Christmas 2025. Cessna 404 Titan. Maybe we'll do that. Yeah. I don't think that this sim is going to be ready by Christmas. I don't think there is enough time for it to mature over that period. So so from now until Christmas time is about a month. Is exactly a month, I think. So I don't really think that the sim is going to be in a state where it is you know, it is suitable and mature enough for you to enjoy it with all the issues that it's got. All right, so here we are. We are at Kuwait International, and let's just wait for the fly now to. There we go, fly now. All right. So again, you can see the cockpit is loading up. The runways aren't loaded, but if we switch to external view, all right. So definitely the lighting of the airport is exaggerated. We can see the textures are being loaded now. All right. So let's give it full power. Parking brake. And let's take a look. The lighting inside the cockpit is really nice, though. There we go. Rotate. You can see here, you can see the headlights from the traffic here on the road. That's pretty cool. You can see the tail lights as well, the red tail lights and the headlamps there. That's a nice detail. Yeah. Let's switch to external view. I love the volumetric lights. And I love the fact that you can see the instruments there. What do you guys think of the night lighting? It's okay. It's okay. It's not super in my view. It's not bad. Somehow, I feel the night lighting in 2020 was slightly better, to be completely honest with you guys. I don't like the glass cockpit GA aircraft. Too many of them now. Some of the sounds are great, yes. The lighting is better in 2024 for sure. Is it? The cockpit lights are definitely very nice. We'll head towards the city. There, Al Hamra Tower is right there. I tried to load the Kuwait freeware scenery into the sim. It does load, but gee, it looks horrible in 2024. So obviously, scenery developers will need to do some work to bring compatibility into their add-ons for Flight Sim 2024. Right, we'll ease off on the power. Let me switch to external view. I don't know. What do you guys think? Too much bloom, maybe. Yeah, I personally think there's too much bloom across the board. Way too much. Street traffic looks pretty good. Too bright, yeah. By the way, it's a little bit better inside the cockpit, but from the outside, it's definitely way too much. Way too much. I felt that 2020 was a little bit more believable in terms of the night lighting, to be completely honest with you guys. But this gives you a very good overview of how the lights look in a populated city. There you can see I do like the distinct lighting for the highways and the you can see the yellow lights here and the white lights there. This is for the major highways, so they do look different. Those are the inner streets, so they do look different, and that is pretty cool. But overall, just way too bright. It is arcadish, yes, I agree. It is pretty arcadish. Again, reminds me of Dovetail games. Yeah. Harsh statement, huh? Yeah, all right. So here's the night lighting. Just look at that, guys. Look at those volumetric lights. I mean, there are some areas where I think they really excel, and then some areas where it's just really unacceptable for a next-gen flight sim like this one. But nonetheless, it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is. I miss all the Mubarkia Sug. Yeah. Sodium lights, orange, are mostly on the way out in favor of LED. Yes, but it's just way too much. All right. Now, we can take a quick look at career mode if you guys like. I've already selected an airport. So I think part of... All right, well, how about we do this another day? Because I do need to hit the sack. I just realized that it's 10:13 p.m. here in Kuwait. And tomorrow is a working day for us here. So it's time to call it quits, guys. But my concluding remarks on my first impressions on Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 is that it is definitely a platform, a flight sim platform that has a lot of potential. There are a lot of things that are very promising, notably the scenery in Microsoft Flight Sim is of the highest order. The drawback of that is that all the data, including your aircrafts, including the scenery, including airports, everything is streamed from the cloud, from the servers. And that then means that you'll have to have a persistent, reliable, and very fast internet connection to enjoy a seamless experience in the sim. The overall launch experience has been a disastrous one, for the lack of a better term. And I do believe that Asobo has, along with Microsoft, have done everything that they can to remedy that. It's just that the problem was a lot bigger than they anticipated, and they will very slowly, I'm sure, will bring maturity into the platform and will resolve the issues. In terms of the aircraft, the selection of the aircraft, I think there is an abundance of aircraft to fly in Microsoft Flight Sim. I just am not exactly sure about the authenticity or the flight physics of those aircraft. Overall, the flight model in Microsoft Flight Sim seems to have been improved drastically from the previous version. This is mainly notable when you are on the ground. The ground physics are definitely a lot better than what used to be in Microsoft Flight 2020. As far as the career mode, the World Photographer, activities, Challenge League, I think those are more arcadish in nature. For me, I don't think that they make any difference whether they work or not, because I will probably not use them. I did not use I used very little of the landing challenge in 2020. So for me personally, those do not add anything. In terms of the user interface, while at a glance seems to have been improved, I believe that once you go in depth into the inner menus, I think things can get very complex and very difficult to set. The word I described, the overall user interface, is counterintuitive. It really is very difficult to set things up the way you like. There are just way too many menus under menus, and sometimes the actual control naming, the nomenclature used by Asobo and Microsoft is not always, not always logical. I would say sometimes it's just it just doesn't really make any sense why they've called something this or that. And that makes it even more difficult for you to actually set your controls the way you like. Overall, lots and lots of potential. Lots in the scenery and the effects department. However, the overall operation and experience in the sim is considerably lacking and needs serious work in order for me to recommend it for purchase. Those are my concluding remarks. I hope that you guys have found this stream to be useful. I hope that you found the information that I presented to you useful. We will be doing more streams of the new platform as the days go by and as it matures. But until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and I will see you on Tuesday. Have a good night.